Hello today. Welcome to the greatest year in music history, the only podcast about the greatest year in music history. I'm John.
And I'm Jen. And if you're new here, the year is 1997, and we're trying to prove that it's the greatest year in music history, one album at a time. So today we're talking about Dude Ranch by Blink-182.
So stoked for this one, so let's get right into it. What's your history with Blink?
Yeah, well, I feel like every episode so far started this way because I'm pretty sure the first time I heard them was on MTV, seeing the video for Damn It.
Yeah.
Can we say Damn It?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
We'll see what the censors say.
What about you?
I can't remember if it was, it was probably that too. Or it was some sort of, either Warped Tour compilation CD or just, I don't know, just kind of like hearing about it, from friends or whatever.
Yeah.
I got really into them during this album.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I would listen to this a lot, like getting ready for my tennis matches, like listening to Blink, Pennywise, Bad Religion, like that whole NoFX, that whole era.
Yeah.
Green Day too, of course.
Yeah.
And I just became kind of obsessed as a little kid, because this is obviously this is pre-YouTube, this is pre-Napster, pre Kazaa Lite,
right,
if you will. So it was like I don't even know how I heard that they had other CDs. Maybe I just assumed they had more. And then you would randomly find, I found Buddha, their first EP or first album compilation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
On CD, and found Cheshire Cat on CD, and like seeing those out in the wild was just like so cool because, there was no Spotify. You couldn't just go, I'll just listen to their whole discography.
Yeah. Right. Wow. Yeah. I also remember seeing the music video for Josie on MTV.
Of course.
But honestly, well, to be honest, I was a little too busy.
Speak your truth.
I was a little too busy being obsessed with NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and Hanson.
Sure.
But I loved what I heard from Damn It and Josie. I just didn't dive as deep into Blink until later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Dude Ranch wasn't so it's not White Elephant.
No. The jury's still out on what term you're actually looking for.
Apex Mountain?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude Ranch is not their Apex Mountain. No.
Okay.
I had the Dude Ranch guitar book, so I could learn how to play all the songs. So I had it, essentially memorized,
Wow.
And then same thing with Enemy of the State.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I had any of the books other than those two, but those two specifically, around that 12 to 14 age.
Yep.
It was just, I don't know. It was just so fascinating to me for some reason.
Yeah. I was doing a tiny bit of research on them, and because I feel like they were the first pop punk band, and so it felt like brand new to me.
To you, yeah.
But sure. I wasn't I read that they had...
You mean you weren't listening to All at age 4.5?
No.
No? Okay, no. Same.
And, they were influenced by The Descendants and also Bad Religion.
All and Bad Religion, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
And Green Day. Well, okay, so Green Day maybe could be considered pop punk, which came before them.
Right.
But Green Day just happened to hit it big. But apparently Blink-182 formed in 93 Dookie came out in 94.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were coming up at the same time. It just happened that the record Green Day put out in 94 was a monster, and Blink didn't hit it big till their album in 97.
97?
Big range. Yeah, I think it's 97. Is that what this pod is about?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, speaking of a couple music videos, what do you think about, did you rewatch them?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, more have them memorized, but rewatching them is just a lot of fun, a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know, Alyssa Milano's there. What a time to be alive.
I
really.
know. That's
ties in with the Olympics because Mark is doing like hurdles, but he falls on the first one and gets taken away to an ambulance. I mean, that's just fun.
I know. That's the main thing that came to mind when I was re-listening and rewatching the music videos. It's just fun. I was legitimately laughing out loud at the Damn It video, and like how he sees his ex-girlfriend with her new boyfriend at the movie theater, and he's the acting. Yeah. I mean, Academy Award winning.
Oh yeah.
They need an Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, that was something they came to be really known for, was their banter on stage between Mark and Tom. Now, I don't know if Travis gets in on the banter. And then, of course, Travis wasn't even on this album.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Scott.
That's right.
Yeah. Who is still with us. Apparently, according to the internet, I think as of last year, he's a cop. So that's interesting.
Okay.
But I guess it was like a kind of an amicable split. I mean, I think he was like technically fired, but I don't think he has any like publicly doesn't have any ill will towards them.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Even as soon as a couple years ago, we'll still like post stuff on Instagram about like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah.
That's good. Interesting. Yeah. So it was cool to see him in the music videos as well, but I'm just watching them just laughing. Mm-hmm. It's so good. It's so much fun. And I was reading how, I guess, I don't know if it was an article or what, but they were like, East Coast punk compared to West Coast punk was just a lot different because they grew up like on skateboards and in malls and, you know, like hanging out at the beach.
The beautiful San Diego suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and then, Alyssa Milano's cameo that I completely forgot. Mm-hmm. But
something I could never forget.
They're just hilarious.
Yeah. And they're great too, like live. So I've been lucky enough to see them with I guess not the OG lineup, not with Scott,
right?
But with Travis before Tom left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like in the early 2000s, I think it was on the Take Off Your Pants and Jacket tour where they toured with Green Day.
Oh.
And they were doing I forgot the name of it, but it was like a co-headlining tour. So they would alternate headliners nightly.
Okay.
So luckily on the date I saw them at, Blink played last, and there was in the opening band before Green Day was Jimmy Eat World. So that was really that was really cool to see.
Lucky.
At I don't think it's there anymore. It's the Verizon Amphitheater.
Okay.
In San Antonio.
Wow.
I don't think it's around anymore.
Okay. So was it good?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Yeah, I was in like, because back then somehow you could buy relatively easly like pit tickets.
Okay.
So we're right up there.
What?
It was fantastic.
I didn't know that.
It was unbelievable.
So, what year was it?
I think 2002.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Okay.
Definitely in high school.
Yeah. So after Enema, but before self-titled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because 2002 was Take Off Your... Yeah.
Amazing.
And then we saw them.
Right. So what year was that? I can't remember.
Oh, who could tell?
Not like 2017.
Something like that.
It was
during the Skiba era.
It was the Skiba era. Tom wasn't there, but it was before COVID.
Yeah, it was the first of the 2 Skiba albums.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was probably 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool because I remember they had a lot of stage props in the form of expletives that were on fire, and we were so close that you could feel the flames.
Yes.
Kind of singeing, my beard, which is always fun.
Yeah.
You want there to be a little bit of danger.
Yeah. I know.
At a punk show.
I remember,
even if they're old now, but that's okay.
Yeah, I remember we got floor tickets for that, and that was the crowd was, I guess, young or something.
We felt old.
Yeah, but not just that. That was one of the weirdest times in which I actually felt like I was about to get crushed. But I'm like,
oh, really?
This is a Blink-182 show in 2016, 17-ish. What?
Like, so there's just a bunch of little kids.
Yeah, what on earth? Why are we pushing so? But anyway, we stuck it out, and then everybody kind of calmed down. And
Didn't Data Remember open up?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
I think that got people.
Yeah.
Because people showed up who were like, I like that song they did with the Marshmallow Man. And then they come out to like Second Sucks, which is a really, really heavy song.
Oh, right.
And
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the kids really knew what to do with that. But we did.
Yeah, it was still good.
Right.
But yeah, I wish, so they've come back now that Tom's back.
Yes.
But we haven't been able to catch a show.
We were out of town on one.
We were out of town. Mm-hmm.
Who plays July 4th?
I don't know.
So,
favorite song?
Favorite song is tough for me personally.
Okay.
Because I like a lot of them. I think I might just have to go with Josie as like the favorite song as a whole.
Yeah.
But as far as like a favorite, let's say like guitar part or riff or whatever, this song Enthused.
Oh yeah.
Has a really intricate, at least for me when I was 12, a really intricate like cool guitar part or whatever, and like I remember learning that, finally being able to nail that. Felt really proud of myself. And I think from what I've seen online that they've actually been playing that live recently.
Wow.
Which is really cool to see, because Tom's not only playing this really intricate riff or kind of chord progression stuff, but he's also singing at the same time.
Wow.
Which is not anything we can do. So what about you? What was your favorite?
It's Josie.
Yeah.
I just love it. But
it's a perfect little pop punk song.
I know. But while re-listening to the whole album, I gotta say, I really like A New Hope.
Star Wars? Yes. Fantastic. I mean, what talk about like a fun, like it's a song about Princess Leia.
I know.
And that's great.
It's just so good. Yeah. But going back to Josie, I was reading more about it, and it blew my mind. So I didn't realize that the lyric was, and my girlfriend likes UL and DHC.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that stands for?
I always assumed it was unwritten law as UL, and DHC I honestly don't know.
Okay, well, you nailed it.
Okay.
I didn't know UL was unwritten law.
All right.
So I guess unwritten law started in 1990.
Hey, man.
From the San Diego area.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And DHC stands for Dance Hall Crashers, which is almost like a ska band. And it had Tim Armstrong in it.
Nice.
And I guess
Rancid fame.
Also a singer who used to date Mark. And the singer Elise had a dog named Josie.
Oh, wow.
But Josie in and of itself is basically a fictional girlfriend, like the perfect girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Who's not Princess Leia.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was fascinating to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think stuff like that on this album compared to, the first two, Buddha and Cheshire Cat, are really fun and silly.
Yeah.
And this is more fun, but you can tell that there's something there.
Yes.
And you can see why, there was all this major label attention, and why Enema of the State, the next one, took off so much like it did.
Yeah. Blew up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that was so cool to even hear back then as a kid, where you can tell like there is something here that stood out from the other pop punk bands, some of which are really good, that were, also on Epitaph and Fat Records and all that genre.
Yeah.
They just had this little extra something in the songwriting and the storytelling, again, about whether it's Star Wars related or talking about The Perfect Girlfriend.
Yeah.
They just had that extra little something where you knew like, oh, there is some like greatness here. Mm-hmm. And then you see what they did afterwards. I
know. Yeah. Yeah. I love, speaking of that, it reminds me, I was thinking it is so fun, yet there's a tiny bit of like relatability. Like if you're a teenage kid and you're like, oh man, I'm not allowed to go to the mall because I got a bad grade.
Work sucks. I know.
Work sucks. I know. Yeah. So
we didn't have jobs at that time, but sure. Yes.
But still they're singing about kind of relatable things, but still in a fun way. It's not like, even if, let's say Tom's girlfriend broke up with him or something and he's bitter about it, it's not sad, it's not mad or weird, it's just they just turn it into fun.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, there's at least one song where, if you look at the lyrics, it seems kind of dark. Tom singing about getting, potentially being a domestic violence survivor. I'm not really sure, but they had that where every album has like the one sad song. Adam's song on Enema of the State.
Yeah.
Stay together for the kids and take every man's jacket.
Yep.
Then self-titled, they got a little weird.
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say, at least for me, this still rules. It's a no skip for me. I can see how maybe some people might think some of the later tracks are a little filler.
Yeah.
But not to me. What about you? What do you think?
Nice. Yeah. I don't think it's a no skip. Some of them start to sound a lot alike.
Oh yeah.
Just
inherently
fast pop punk. Like, am I still listening to the same song? But still, I'd say no skip. I really like the whole thing. But would this be is this their best album?
No. I mean, it has to be Enema of the State. It just has to be.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah.
I know there's some detractors out there on the internet, depending on which generation you're on. But yeah, it's second best to me, in my opinion. What do you think?
Oh, it's definitely second best. Sorry.
Yeah.
Enema, I know from front to back. I could sing it in my sleep. I love it so much.
Yeah. Same.
But I do like songs from their other albums. I mean,
of course.
Self-titled, we also know front to back, and it was great. But Enema of the State is just...
It's funny now that you see, everything from the early 2000s being very popularized in Target and Walmart and every kid now. And you see the self-titled, I guess, album cover on the white t-shirt. And I remember pre-ordering the CD in your dorm room just because it came with a free t-shirt, that exact t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
And you had a compact Presario tower
with
the standalone CRT monitor where it was deeper than it was wide, and
Yep.
pre-ordering it on. I don't think it was dial-up, but it was very slow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
These kids will never know.
No. Do you think it was overplayed?
I think Damn It was a little overplayed.
Oh.
Just kind of for me personally.
Okay.
Maybe I wouldn't think that if it was like a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't know. What do you think?
No. Not overplayed. But that's because it wasn't my Apex Mountain or whatever you call it.
Sure.
But then again, nothing on Enema was overplayed either. I think I just...
Adam's song wasn't overplayed?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess a little bit. A tiny bit. But it's fine. I'm not mad at any of the songs.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. How would you say it compares to their other albums?
You know, we've talked about with other bands like Deftones, and we will some future episodes. You know, there's, to me, long-standing bands like this have eras. Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with the tour. So there's like this pre-Enema foundings era that sort of caps off with this. Mm-hmm. So like Buddha, Cheshire, Dude Ranch, to me that's one era. Yeah. And you can count like the weird, they had like a tape I remember downloading a bad copy of called like the Fly Swatter demos. There was another one that was like a bad pun on Uranus. Anyway. And then you have that like the start of the Travis era. Mm-hmm. Which goes from Enema, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, self-titled, Neighborhoods.
Yep.
And ends with Tom leaving.
Right.
And then you have Skiba. And even I'd lump the new one with Tom into that same thing. Like, it's, for me, really kind of forgettable. So,
yeah.
How does this era compare to the Travis era? It's not as good because it doesn't have Travis. True. I mean, that's the thing. It's like back then, we didn't really know what we were missing. And Scott Rayner's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, he's unbelievable. He's so fast. He's so, like, probably doesn't get enough credit for being really technical. But Travis brings another dimension to, it brings a different energy.
Yeah.
To the band.
Yeah.
You know, he has the ska roots from being in Aquabats. I mean, he's essentially doing a blend between punk, metal, jazz, you know, and bringing everything all together at once.
Right.
Produced their last album, you know, so it's my, you know, first love, but
yeah,
it's not going to quite be there up against the Travis era.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. That's interesting. But I like how you break it down like that. And then what you were saying about Travis, we put on the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, which is their live album.
Yes. Amazing record.
And Travis, everyone, maybe this is like common knowledge, but he is so fast and so good that even their fast songs, when they're played live, they're even faster. He's
ripping through some of those intros, and Mark and Tom just have to keep up, basically.
Yeah. It's incredible to hear how they try to keep up.
Yeah. I think the coolest thing about listening to that live album was, you know, the other day we were talking off mic, if you will, about, I wonder what it, in a universe where Travis was recording Dude Ranch, how would that sound? Like, what would that change about what we love about the songs? Would it improve? Would it take away? Would life be different, etc.? And then we randomly started listening to the live album.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me that is essentially Travis re-recording Dude Ranch.
Oh.
because he is putting his stamp, and he's doing different things than Scott was doing.
Right.
To be clear, on some of the Dude Ranch songs, and they play a couple off of Cheshire and Buddha too. Mm-hmm. So to hear Travis do his take on those.
Yeah.
I think the live album was recorded in 99. So you kind of do have that. And
right.
It's really, really good.
It's so good.
Travis is really, really ridiculously good.
One of the best of all time. Yeah. Let's see. Any other thoughts on the album as a whole? Oh, well, you mentioned Enthused has some of your favorite guitar parts. Are there any other favorite guitar parts?
The song Boring.
Oh, yeah.
It's like less than a couple minutes. It has a silly little skit on the end. And that just has, again, really cool, like surprisingly technical riffs coming from Tom for what you would think is just like a fun pop punk album, you know?
Yeah.
But each song to me has a cool little portion, I guess.
Yeah.
That was like hard to nail on guitar, and then when you finally get it, you're like, oh my gosh. Now it's all clicking, especially when you're, 12 to 14 listening to those.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot that they do, and Mark, and not to take anything away from Mark either,
Mm-hmm.
He's doing some really interesting bass work, I guess you could say, and not just doing a standard, okay, I'm going to play the same as what the guitar's doing of four chord and call it a day.
Yeah.
He's getting in there too.
And they're both singing.
Yeah, and
they're
that's one of the cool things too, about them in the 90s, seeing that pop punk happen with essentially two lead singers. I mean, there's not really I don't know the tally of how many are Mark sings lead versus how many Tom sings lead, and then sometimes one will sing the lead of the verse and the other one will sing the chorus, and their harmonies together and stuff like that. Again, they there's that something there that set them apart.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, because I guess, did Rancid have dual singing parts every once in a while, but rarely?
Yeah, not to the level of Mark and Tom.
Right. Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. It does set them apart. The fact that they're both singing and their voices are different. Tom is this like high pitched,
right?
And Mark is lower, and so you can tell the difference between the two when they're singing. And then some songs are all Tom, and some songs are all Mark, and then others they switch back and forth.
And even when they are all one versus all another, they all still sound like a Blink song.
Yep.
Which I would imagine, now people should maybe give them more credit for honing in on that Blink sound, despite having two different drummers as they came up, with Scott and then Travis, two different singers competing sometimes within the same song, or like you mentioned, solo each.
Yeah. But
still always having that Blink sound.
Right.
It's so great.
Yeah. It's awesome. So rating out of 97, what would you give it?
For me, it's a 97. There's no question.
Yeah.
It's just a perfect mid to late 90s pop punk record. I don't know how else to say it, I mean,
awesome.
We promise to the listeners we'll get further in the season and maybe start to disagree, maybe not, who knows. But yeah, I got to go with another perfect score for me. What about you?
I was going to give it a 93 out of 97.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I can see that.
Yeah. And it's kind of, I think they formed in 93, so it's sort of like a...
That works.
Yeah. Full circle. I don't know. Yeah.
Something to that effect, yeah.
But yeah.
I think that'll do it for this week.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, thanks everybody for listening, and make sure to follow us on social. Just search for @GreatestMusicPod, all your favorite social platforms, Threads, Instagram, Twitter, the site formerly known as Twitter, TikTok.
Yeah, and leave us a comment. Tell us your favorite memories of this album. We'd love to hear from you. And give us a follow and a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
And stay tuned for next week. We'll be covering another band with numbers in it. Can you guess? It's Transistor by 311.
Nice.
See you next week.